Welcome in, everybody. I'm just trying to set this up real quick. I thank you for tuning in this Saturday. It's going to be a very interesting update for some of you. For some of you who are used to the let's joke around, let's do this, let's do that. This is going to be a much more serious tone today. So if you're used to that kind of presentation by me, you're in for a treat. I'm not in a very playful mood. I'm in a more serious, I'm laser focused today because there's a lot of things that we have to pay attention to. And it's come to my attention by a lot of people that I've noticed with the general attitude around XRP that many of us are not going to be here when the time comes. So with that being said, we're going to get into a very nice discussion here. And we're going to do it in a way that most of you may or may not be used to with me. So let me say hi to everybody real quick. Russell, welcome in. Been accumulating for 6 years. People have no patience. Exactly. They want to get rich with cryptos, and for the short-sighted, no, it's not. And I'll be honest, I was a lot more playful with like the ones who want to come in here and ruin the flow. But I was on, I was away from the house for a few days, so I let it slide. But back to laser focus, so I won't even acknowledge if it ruins my flow. Richard Williams, I will be, although my target isn't so high as I've accumulated enough for an early exit. Good day to you, Tom. Welcome in, Richard. Con, the truth is I have no reason to go anywhere. This was always going to be long. Absolutely. I mean, we have to have our eyesights out to 2028, but let me continue saying hi to everybody. Make sure to hit that like button as well if you're tuning in. That would be the greatest gift of all you can show me if you appreciate my content. Hit that like button because YouTube, as you know, doesn't do a great job putting out my signal. But if you hit that like button, it forces them to share my content. Tim Bates, welcome in. Tim, hey Tom, have you read the settlement agreement that Ripple and the Department of Justice settled in the FinCEN lawsuit a few years ago? Ripple agreed to not continue selling any future sales of XRP. I've seen some of it, but there's stipulations within it. So, I mean, it is fishy. Yeah, XRP Fund 2 is the subsidiary. That is true, but you can go all the way back to 2013 when the first things got levied against XRP. If you want to look into it, or XRP2 or whatever they switched it to back then. ATK, welcome in. Who else is in here? Janthony, good mid-afternoon. John, welcome in. Mario, Mr. Bams, glad to see you all in here. Michael Edwards. Chance Williams, 25% of my bag is from 2017, holding for $5 and it never came. I'll be here until it happens or my son will have. Absolutely, that's a good way to look at it. Mark Kelly, good afternoon. You and Sir Rob taught me you have to see long. Yes, but you have to have very long targets. But that's the thing. Don't live by a target. Don't live by somebody else's false expectation. And you're going to hear a lot of this out of me today. Create an opinion for yourself and don't live on somebody else's word. If you're going to live and die by your dollar and your investment, make sure it's because you want it, not because somebody's tricked you into doing it. Bottom line, biggest problem with YouTube today, yesterday, and in Tomorrowland, you're always being tricked to buy something you don't want, so some greedy bastard can make a little extra money. Nick Morales, welcome in. 2025 is the original goal. That's a good goal to have. 2028, the reason I point to that date, and I'll continue saying it, and I'll be stern with it, that's the last. There's a date in 2028. I don't know the exact day. That's the last day somebody from an institution, from the financial, from a bank, from big business can use the old HTML framework. That's how far back they've pushed it. Now, does it go that long? Who knows? Most of them will switch by the end of 2025. But there's been extension after extension after extension, and it's been pushed out into 2028. Colin, welcome in. Dean, Simon, Louisville, welcome in. Crypto Solo Scrooge. How many people are in here? I can't even get through the comments. 96 people. Only 39 likes. I would greatly appreciate if you hit that like button. I don't charge for anything. I don't do paid advertisements, promotions, or sponsorships. All I ask for is to hit that like button if you appreciate my content and subscribe to stick around for a little bit. I know most people don't like the truth and it takes longer for it to get around. But I know over time, we're going to be the most foreknown station here on YouTube for crypto. I've been saying it since I had one person following me. The truth will eventually get around, and people like facts and no bullshit. Eventually, Most people will see through it because they don't want to lose any more money. They actually want to make an investment. You want to make money, but you don't want to lose it all trying to make this investment work. Most people are stuck in XRP since 2021, not because they wanted to sit in it, but because every influencer said we were in the midst of the biggest bull market in history. Just the truth, it is what it is. I don't like the sugarcoat things. So these are the kind of lives that you need to have for me. I know I was in a more playful mood the last 4 or 5 days. Back to reality. Radio, greetings from Belgium. Russell Griffin, welcome in. Slavko. Wow, I really appreciate you tuning in from Serbia. Slavko pushed my content around in the midst of the bear market when a lot of people were bagging on the channel. Even though we knew what we were doing, we sold out in 2021 at $1.66. I wouldn't let anybody buy who was following me for over a year and a half. Aren't you glad I did that? Now we have a 34.6 average. After selling out at $1.66, mind you, after a 47-cent average. Pretty good. Mr. Bams, good afternoon. Dean, you invest long-term or nothing? Yep. That's how you have to look at it. But you want to find it in bear markets, which we were in, which we're still in the midst of one right now. So you try to find your investment for a long-term strategy in the bear market. We never want to do it. Never want to do it in the bull market. That is not where you find long-term potential. You can find it, but you're going to have to hold through another bull market and possibly another retracement into a mid-tier bear trap, which is very hard to do. Crypto Solo Scrooge, Crazy Tom is the reason I sold XRP in 2021 at $1.66. I appreciate that. And watch Crypto Solo Scrooge. He started on this channel very raw, tried to learn, started grasping things. Now he's got his own station. I kid you not. I believe he's pushing 600 subscribers now in a very short amount of time. So that's very impressive. So if you like Sologenic, you like that aspect. He talks about the ledger, talks about Corium. So make sure you give him a shot. He's part of the community. Jan, welcome in, love. Awesome to see you in here. Tanya, awesome to see you in here as well, love. 2 of my favorites right in a row. How does that happen? How awesome is that? Brands Love B, welcome in. And I know it's taken me forever to get through the intro, and everybody says you got to go faster. I tend to do it this way because I like to talk to my audience. I like to acknowledge the fact that you all are the reason I'm here. So if some of you want me to skip by, there's plenty of other entertainers that won't acknowledge you, and you'll get off on it, I'm sure. Jan, don't trip, family. Let's buy the dip. Exactly. Serdar, good afternoon. Russell, I appreciate you all talking to each other too. See, I'm learning a lot through the comments. Mike, welcome in from UK. No problem. Jay, good evening, good afternoon. So let me get started here. I always say hi to the early ones, but today we had a lot of early ones in here, as there is 125 people here in 8 minutes. No wonder I can't get through the intro. Don't worry, I don't mind it. Trust me, we got a lot to talk about here. 64 likes. Make sure to hit that like button, please. That's the only thing I'll ask. Hit that like button. Unless you want to send a YouTube super chat, make a small donation to the channel to keep the lights on. That's up to you. But another way to keep the lights on is getting more people in here, and that's by hitting the like button. You can join Tom's Army, but I appreciate that, Albert. Sidar, welcome in. Herbert, good afternoon. Crazy, welcome in. So good mid-afternoon. Actually, good early afternoon. 1:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, August 12th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, if you want to know how I feel about the XRP, about the people in XRP, I mean, it's really this 15 seconds from this older song it really can resonate. So this is what it's going to end up happening. That's the question. Do we believe in the XRP community? Can we, as a community, as we've talked so long and hard about, can we take the emotion out? You know, the biggest clarity you're going to get when trading crypto, when investing, you have to take the emotion out. So many people come across a good thing, but before they ever get to realize the potential, they talk themselves out of it. Their minds, we are tricked out of it with our minds. If we can keep our emotions in check, use positivity over negativity, I'm telling you, the clarity you get out of it, it's second to none. When you realize crypto and investing, and if you buy precious metals, it's a long-term game. I'm 30, not, well, what am I? I'm going to be 40 in December. So I'm 39 years old right now. Money is, to me, precious metals because it's borderless, and crypto because I can take it from my country to another. Currency is my US dollar. So what I'm trying to do right now, as I'm earning US dollars, is I'm trying to unload them as fast as possible. Yes, I have to keep some in the bank for my house payment and bills and things like that, food and the essentials. But the rest of it, we're trying to invest in the new technologies that are going to be used as money. That's why crypto is important to me. The ISO tokens, the Internet of Things tokens, precious metals, to continue having that storage. That's your store of value. Crypto to me is much too volatile to be a store of value, but you make it for crazy gains. It's an investment strategy in bear markets. And if you buy in bear markets and you have a strategy to build up, holy smokes. Once you achieve that, there's really no stopping. That's why we've made a concerted effort here for FOMO Fridays, which we just finished off our sixth week on Casper. We have about 6,300 tokens now. We did 9 weeks before that as the community to buy H-bar. We have over 10,000 tokens at just $50 a week. We're doing algo on Winning Wednesday, $75 a week. There's reasons why we're trying to slowly but surely in this bear market, because some are farther down in the bear market than others. Algo's down 95% right now from the 2021 high. XRP was down almost 90, but now it's popped back up. So we buy them in segments. Most people are getting so trapped in their own emotion right now that they don't even understand that you're allowed to acquire other things but XRP. You are allowed to build a portfolio. Even though I'm the XRP future millionaire and my truest love is XRP and I can't live without it, and my portfolio is not complete without it, which is why I started with it, you have to have an equal balance going forward. It's not just XRP. It's not just Algorand. It's not just H-bar. All of these work together. That's why H-bar and XRP have a deal with a similar entity for liquidity purposes and to move borders. So as long as we have the right mindset and we can get through this, it's crazy. What can happen here is going to be a tremendous opportunity, but so many people are going to miss it. That's why I put the title as bluntly as I did. XRP holders, I don't even remember what I said, but most of you won't be here when the real run starts. It's just that simple. There's too much emotion. The title? I said in my title, XRP holders, the truth is most of you won't be here when the real run starts. It's pretty, I think there's no mincing words there. I don't think most people will be here when the true run starts. I've said that since the beginning because most people will buy in expecting because of false hype. And this is the problem with YouTubers that tell you it's going to $25,000. It's going to $65 next year. Well, my audience isn't the majority of XRP holders, though. The ones who follow me, I believe if you hear the message, you will be part of the ones who will be here. But 99% won't be here. Most people that hold XRP hold it for less than a month. They've tried to ride it on a wave, and then the first signs that something's going wrong, it's going to be, it's a problem. People don't know how to take small to large. No, they don't. And that's why I'm trying to teach a strategy to everybody. For anybody who's in here, I have a 346 average on XRP. When is the next time, and I only have, in comparison to some, I have, and I'm very proud of it, 12,222 tokens of XRP because I have a slew, and I'm not going to go through the whole list and the reasons why, but that's my holdings of XRP. That's the only relevant. So when would I buy more with my philosophy? If I bought it at 346, when's the next time that I can personally buy it? If anybody understands the strategy that I invoke, and this isn't just XRP, this is all crypto. This is my precious metals when I buy, unless I'm doing a monthly purchase of precious metals because the silver is 80 to 1 or higher. But this is my philosophy. So for anybody who's new, I won't buy XRP. I'm at 346. ATK, you saved the day. I was just about to say it. Literally, that comment came in perfectly. Thank you, everybody. Yes. ATKJ Cryptos, who's 20% under. And the reason I use that strategy is XRP is a volatile son of a gun, I tell you what. It worked for me in the bear market, into the bull market, which I caught late in 2021. That's why I was forced to buy it from 40 all the way through 62 cents to get as many, or 68 cents, as many as I could, which ended up being a 47-cent average. But that's why I didn't have the same strategy in 2021. It all changes as you go. This is a newer strategy for this market cycle. So, and like there's a few ways to determine this pattern, and I've seen it all. I've seen it all with this pattern. Some people are cutting it with the downtrending resistance. I just personally see this pattern forming this now. We came out of the bull flag setup. Oh, I deleted the bull flag. No wonder it looks like that. Let me put that back on so it doesn't look so ridiculous. Whoops, sorry. Hold on just one sec. I'm going to try to put this how I had it. I don't even remember how this one was. Oh, yeah, I do. It was like this. That was the top. So we broke down out of the bull flag. It's pretty clear. We consolidated. We formed the channel off of the top of it, which we're still outside of. Which, see, that is why it's definitely necessary to keep it on, because we need to see that resistance. That's the channel that we formed. That's the uptrending resistance that we finally broke out of. We have a support structure below it that was formed. Some people are saying you could come out like this, but how are you going to determine the pattern? I like to have the pattern where it came from and where it's meeting. Like, in this broadening wedge right now, to me, that's the relevant point in this pattern. We can stop this over here now because we're feeding off the other, we're feeding off the other pattern now. And yes, it gets sloppy, but when you have overlapping patterns, which apparently I don't know how to delete anymore because it keeps creating a new one. This is where we broke out. That was the pattern resistance where we finally had a shot to break out. But what happened? We got rejected on what can be determined as the start of a broadening wedge. But I think it met up here, and this is why I put stock into the broadening wedge. In the 2 hourly, you can see it. You can see it in the 4 hourly as well in the same candle. I'll go to the 4 hourly just for demonstration purposes. But let me pull this arrow back out. We had this breakdown. This support comes straight through here as well. This needs to be pulled down, so I'll do that after I put this arrow away. So that was the support, the resistance. It formed this tight channel on the outside of the bull flag, which we thought was a little bearish here. We needed to see how far it ran down. We started to hold support here around 6113. Then we came down to the 597 with a quick wick, but it quickly pulled back up here. So we're using this first support, second support. Even here, it pulled back up. This looks like a broadening wedge forming. Support is being more volatile to the downside, lower lows. And then you get some highs forming right here on the back up. Come back through, create another high formation cluster here. Now you're coming back down. So I think you formed a broadening wedge very sneakily here. And if we get rejected here, like I said, this 20-day keeps rejecting. We have evidence that the pattern's bearish in the formation with the death cross here in the 4 hourly. So if you're using the exponential moving averages, I use the 20, 50, 100, and 200 because I like to see from 20 to 200 days. Some people use the 50, 100, 200. Some people don't use it up to the 200, which I think is crazy. But if you're going to use it as an indicator, I like to see where the sellers are set up. So I use this. So right now, most sellers are right here looking for a rejection either here or back on the 200. So I'd put firmly 641. We would have to get over that and hold to try to turn this short term. Right now, though, this little bear flag here, as you can see, Just imagine in your head, this little bear flag should bring us down into this broadening wedge support again. So does that mean it hits here at 597, 596, tries to double bottom? Or are we going to come all the way back down to 585? Or is it worse? For me right now, we don't have a lot of sell pressure. So for me to think it's going to come worse, I suppose it could come down to the ascending triangle formation breakout, which the only reason I can say that that could possibly happen, you would need to get a dump down from the market cap. And right now, the market cap looks exactly like XRP's price action, which you would expect. But this suggests a dump down right around the 31 billion roughly. I think we have a targeted move for the market cap to get some liquidity here because it's proven. Market cap doesn't have enough strength. So I think we could be dumping down here for a retest. It's possible. Now is the retest maybe only down to like 32.2 maybe? Put in an inverted right arm maybe in the short pattern, which it looks so freaking weird if it does. But those are the two options where it could hold. If it breaks that, we're coming back down to the ascending triangle breakout, which that will get you right around 28.6 billion on the market cap. The market cap, if it were to come down there, that's how XRP would break the formation. And by breaking the formation, I mean probably not holding 585. If the market cap comes down and breaks to the ascending triangle formation, that firmly puts XRP at 55 cents, which is a retest of the double top breakout. 85 likes. Make sure to hit that like button. It's the only thing that'll help push my analytics, as YouTube's a pain in the you-know-what. If you appreciate my work, just hit that like button. And if you want to see more updates, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Yep, August Bricks, they have the meeting where it's alleged they're going to go back to a gold back standard on August 22nd. We'll be covering that as we get closer. And this is just an early update live because I didn't want to just do an update. I wanted to talk to everybody, and I wanted to get a few things out there for you guys to consider, especially when it comes to emotions. But I know we do a good job here, and I know I underestimate my role, but I like to put it more on your shoulders for what your personal decision is. I don't want you to just do something because I said it. I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't claim to be because I don't think they have any use. Yes, 55 cents would be a perfect spot if you're looking to buy more. Russell, yes, the serious time gets more business done. That's what I'm saying. It's all good. I like to play around a little bit. But, you know, sometimes I can feel when we're falling off tracks, and I can sense it. I watch everything back. So if I'm live for an hour and a half, I watch it. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? You don't got to play into that moment. That's why I have to have serious laser focus time, because then I just skip through the comments. If I'm playing, I play around, and then it throws the show off. Octopi, think even long-term holders are getting tired. Too much YouTube up. Exactly. Thank you. That is exactly how I started the open. Octopi, that is 100% the truth and the worst thing for the XRP community. All the hype, all the bullshit. Why can't we just call it for what it is? XRP is being adopted all across the world. But all we're focused on is a 32% retracement after a 94% pump. Like, that's when you get that emotionless nonsense. Like, you bought at 34 cents if you're watching me in the bear market. Right now is the time that you don't have to stress it. The reason why I do what I do, and I'm in an accumulation phase, I'm not paying a 35% tax, period. And people are like, well, Tom, you've cost yourself money. Yeah, you know, maybe. But remember, we sold in 2021 at $1.66 after buying at 47 cents. 2021 was the time to make all the profit. That's what I kept saying. So, I mean, yeah, you know, we're just up a measly 84%. We just control our own fate still. I never heard of anybody get so mad over 84% up in a bear market when you have all the destiny, all the cards are in your hand. Even if you get nervous, you've got 83% of room or whatever the hell it is right now. Like, this is not the time to get nervous. Realize the formations we're in. This is the other thing. Most people talk without basis. So I went back and approximated the three times that XRP has approximately had a weekly bullish cross in its history. Notice the 200-day doesn't go back this far. Notice it doesn't go back this far, so I had to estimate. And I went back into the daily to see the formation where it finally broke in the daily for the bullish cross, and it was right there. So I'll show you that I'm not lying just so people don't get mad. But that's the daily time frame. That's where you get that formation break finally. Real break. We had a fake out attempt up here. I'm going with the real break. That's one. So you could say 3 times, but it's more than 3 in the daily. So in the weekly, a very high time frame. So you had a golden cross 1 right in that area. Right there. You can see where the 200-day would be at. So then we come back. Takes a very long time for this formation. Look at this. We go from March 17th or March 6th of 2017. I can put the Bollinger Bands on. I don't put a lot of stock in them, but I use them. I mean, it's not that I don't put a lot of stock in them. It makes me lazy if I keep them on. Yeah, that's a better way to say it. Like the Bollinger Bands, makes me lazy. Just like all other indicators, which is why I don't use them. This weekly, you can clearly see 2017, and we come back through. We do the dot cross here in about 2020. Now the second one is about a year later, year and a half later, right here. We come back through for our second golden cross on the weekly. Now we do it again. We have a big, this is 2020 in December. What else happened in 2020, ladies and gentlemen? Remember I tell you it's optics, and I only bring this up for one reason. What happened in December of 2020 that may have forced everybody to sell their XRP, might have forced everybody who's emotional to think that XRP was illegal to own and that the government would be coming after you? What happened in that beautiful moment right before the golden cross for the second time in its history? In the weekly. I'll wait. I'll relax. God knows I need to relax, right? Don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ today, as it's the most holy day of the week, even though they want you to believe it's Sunday. Okay, let's see. I packed my bags. That's what happened. Yes, sir, Zam. Yes, the lawsuit. Yes. Yes. You're all under. Yes. Bitcoin 50-50 shot in an ascending wedge. Yes, I mean, it's forming an ascending wedge. Now, for a breakout attempt, you might want it to be in a descending wedge to have more. But I think Bitcoin's in a much larger broadening wedge. So you should get the proper support as long as it can hold that area. We'll go to Bitcoin in a little bit, but I got more to talk about here. So, yes, the lawsuit in December 2020, right? The lawsuit happened right here. Roughly December 20th or 22nd, somewhere in the, right here. So look, Bitcoin or XRP in December of 2020, the lawsuit's announced, right? Look what happens here now. Look what happens. Ready? Comes down. We have a true breakout here, February of 2021. So the news manipulated the market for what I like to call, ready? It was ready. XRP was ready back then to explode. And if you were a holder, you could see it. Look at these formations. All of a sudden, the lawsuit's announced. XRP goes from, where were we at on this candle? We were all the way up here. Then we had a consolidation before the news, but there was rumblings. So we went down. XRP went down 75% when the lawsuit was announced. When the lawsuit was announced, look where XRP was at when it did the golden cross. November of 2020 to signal to everybody that XRP for only the second time in its history, had a golden cross in the weekly, signifying a massive shift of momentum. Just massive. You also know you always need a huge liquidity dump before a massive move up. That's what I'm talking about with what we're doing today. We went up 94%. Where are you getting the liquidity for another 90 or 100% move if you're not going to come back down and grab some liquidity where all the buyers are at? Liquidity means big bounce of money that can push the price up exponentially. XRP needs a lot of liquidity stack. We have 53 billion tokens in circulation. A few $1 million isn't going to push it. not how we want it. That's why you need those 500 million candles, 280 million in a day. You even need more than that. We didn't even touch the radar from 2021 with volume. Oh, speaking of 2021, 5.2 billion in the weekly. Remember that. 5.2 billion. And we're going to get to the weekly when we get to 2023. So second formation, what do we see here? November 2020, the second golden cross in the weekly for XRP's history. Then on December 2020, ironically, next month, the lawsuits announced. Preemptively, we go down 70+%, about 75% to our 1960, which happens to be a very important level. That's an uptrend back from 2020. That's the 2020 uptrend we always talk about. That's how you get back to 196. If you break the one we're at now, you've got the 2021, 2020. But if we break the current uptrend we're in and you lose 37 cents, that's your firm target, and that's where you'd be going back to. Nobody says it's going to happen. So second golden cross happens on XRP, November of 2020. Nobody's paying attention to it. Nobody. Because there's lawsuits announced, and every single person that rode that rave up brought it right back down. Right back down. They wrote it down, and they all sold. Anybody who bought up here was selling. Everybody's selling out. Even from here, they took profits. They said, this is over. So we go on just a little bit of time. Tom takes over right here. Tom comes onto the scene in this cluster. Right here. We're in these clusters. We came back down to 40 cents right after I came on air, and it made me look like a dope. I came on talking about how we were moments away from a huge breakout, which we were. But I was 2 weeks early. So we lost about 18% from the top. Got to buy much more, and that's when I started my passion to please. Do not sell, please. This is the wrong time in history. I always told everybody, you'll get your chance if you want to get profits, but not here. XRP proceeded to pump to $1.98 within. Look how quick this was from when I got on YouTube. You wonder how I grew so quick in the beginning. I'm pushing a portfolio of 3,500 on March of 2021. By April 12th of 2021, my portfolio was over, 16,000? So yeah, people are like, holy shit. But I was pushing a message. We wrote it all the way to here, remember? Down to, where was it at? Down to, somewhere in this cluster, we wrote it. Came all the way back up. I keep saying $1.70. It could have been a little bit higher. Nope, $1.67. Because it went up, came right back down on that same candle. We actually had a consolidatory candle, the 115, there it is. Pushed up to 167. There's the cluster we sold on in May. So in May, we sold. We never held XRP again as a community until all the way during this formation. And we got a 346 average somewhere in 2022, early 2023 as we put it all together. We bought the bottom of the cup and handle. Do you know how perfect of a buy that is in a bear market? For anybody who did that? You should give yourself a hand. And I don't mean a job, I mean a clap. Wink, wink. Oh, I kid. So now we go into the third weekly golden cross. I don't even know how many people are sticking around. For all I know, everybody could have left. But the weekly golden cross, the third time. Remember we talked about several billion in volume with a B, billion. Remember the second golden cross with a billion. 5.28 billion. Billion. Repeat that, billion. This breakout attempt, 518 million. That's what I was trying to say when we first had the run up. That's 10% of the volume we had on the major breakout. We have to be real where we're at. I don't believe this cycle's over, but we have to be real. That exponential volume that was coming in, it's not here right now, and that's okay. That's okay. We have 113 people still here. Wow. Actually, that might be the most I've seen today. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. 108 likes. I don't even know what else to say. You guys are awesome. And gals. So enough of that. So That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. So for all these reasons, I think a lot of people are going to be shaken out, even though, just like in 2021 or 2020, remember, from that golden cross in November of 2020 to the massive breakout that happened around April of 2021, that took, ready? December, January, February, March, almost 4 months for that to play through until we started to get the parabolic spike. Ready? This golden cross happened, and just stick with me. And the first moves didn't, the entirety of the move didn't take 4 months. It started in about 2 months. As we know, February and March were very volatile to shake people out. You had big rises up to 80 cents, big drops back down into the mid 50s, a push into the 90s and back to the 60s. It wasn't for the faint of heart. So now, this weekly, we have a cross here in July. So now we're 1 month later in August. So we know historically we have to have a big dump. We have to have big dumps. So from the top, we came down so far with our bottom hit. What was it? 597. We'll just say here, we came down about 36%. Where's the real hit? Are we coming down here? Do we have to go farther? That's the question. Right now, we've given back about 36% for liquidity. To me, it feels like we need a little bit more. That's why if we break down any farther, and I'm using the broadening wedge as a very big staple here, if we come down any farther, we have to hold this area. We have to hold this area, our last ditch effort would be to hold 55 cents. The problem is if you go down to 55 cents and don't hold it, that's the formation breakout. Just like back in 2020 when we had the initial breakout, or 2020 in November, big drop. This is exactly what we formed. This was the start of it. Then the crosses start happening, and before you know it, wait a minute, let's see the weekly. I was looking in the wrong spot, I think. No, it's right here. It is in July, early July, mid-July. So that's why a lot of emotion needs to be taken out. If you bought in the bear market where we've been doing it, you have nothing to worry about. Even if you didn't, you buy 20% below your buying and you rectify it. It's the easiest thing ever. If you're futures trading, which I don't encourage it, the easiest way to do it is do a 10x trade and buy it in 10 different purchases. If you have $1,000, you buy $100 at 34 cents. Every 10% down it goes, you buy $10. If you miss it by 100%, that's on you on a futures trade, or by more than 10%. That's how you have to do it. You don't do it in one increment. That's how you get wrecked in leverage trading. I don't promote it because I think it's a dangerous game, and most people gamble. Here's the honest to God truth with leverage trading, why I don't promote it. And I'm going to light this relaxation so we can all relax together. Cannabis is legal where I live. If you want to join, light it now. We're coming to the end of this live, but it's not over yet, so don't leave. But I'm going to be doing my normal live at 7:07 or 7:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just did this live so that we could stay on the same page. I was going to do an update, and I said, no, I could get a lot more information out in the live. So, for all you know, this isn't even a live. This is just us grouping together, a bunch of friends talking. Awesome. Abs. What's up, Ryan? Good evening. Lee, welcome in. I appreciate that. True, I just gave away your secret. Absolutely. That's the best kept secret in all of crypto with leverage trading. If you just put in 10% at a time, you do a 10x leverage. I think 10x is the smartest way to go. It gives you a 10% up and down. So as long as you're within a bearish cycle and you know eventually you're going to break out, you give yourself 10 equal buys, which in the world of a 10x trade would be every 1% down you have to buy. So if XRP is in the midst of a 10% move, well, you got to space it out 10%. Now, if it goes down a little bit lower, you know, there's also the time we have to cut it loose. You have to find a spot where you're like, you know what, I have to cut my losses. But if you're looking at a formation like right here, so if I was going to buy it, I wouldn't buy here where it looks like a bear flag. I would wait until the 6133 breaks. Your first buy to me would have to start on this wedge at around 597. And then by the time it got down, even if it comes down into this formation, that's only 7 of your buys. Even if it came down there, your average would be cut in the middle now too, and you'd still have 30% of your leverage left over. That's how you'd play a move like that. If you're going to go long, I don't advise you to do leverage, so I'm going to stop talking about it before I give bad principles. The biggest problem I have with leverage is most people leverage their bag, and what I mean by that, I own 12,222 tokens of XRP. I own like 3,000 more than that I don't talk about, but that's for everyday use when I buy stuff and yada, yada, yada. And I just keep replenishing it as I go along if I need to. So the ones I hold that I don't use for any other purposes, those most people would sell and they'd say, oh, I'm going to use 12,000 of my bag and I'm going to turn it into 20,000 because I'm going to make a great leverage trade. Then they get scared on the first sign of their 35x trade. I always see people that are using 50x, 100x. It's like, are you out of your minds? A standard move in the 5-minute chart moves and you'll be liquidated every single move up or down. This little fluctuation here, feared here, liquidated, back down, liquidated, liquidated, liquidated. I mean, every single time. Don't put yourself in a spot where it only has to move a 0.5% to get liquidated. That's asinine. Or a whole percent or 1.5%. Give yourself room. Even at 2x, you can be liquidated in one fair swoop. I've seen it happen many of times. People are like, oh, I'm only doing 2x leverage. I'm never going to look at it. They come back. Wait a minute. I was only down 77%, but on the exchange, it says you only have to be that far to be leveraged out. Where they can call your, where they force you to rebuy. Oh, Jan, this is why I have to be serious. When I'm serious, it's all knowledge. When I'm playful, I get off track. Not to say I'm not playful. I just need to do it in a good way. Positive energy, but the right energy. So, XRP here. We're firmly in this. And if you appreciate the knowledge, everybody, don't be afraid to hit that like button. Don't be afraid to send a small donation through a YouTube super chat to support the program. Don't be afraid to join Tom's Army, as that's my greatest gift that you could give me. If you appreciate my work, I don't charge for anything. You don't have to sit through paid advertising, paid promotions, or paid sponsorships at my channel. You don't have to go through 72 minutes to get the 2 minutes of info in the back. You just have to hit the like button, and that's all I really care about. Yes, I'm eternally grateful for everybody in Tom's Army, the ever-growing audience in Tom's Army, and the ones who from now and then send a YouTube super chat. It definitely helps keep the lights on at this station. But there's not very many lights to go around, so we don't really need that much. I look more of it as the pay it forward mentality. I'm paying it forward to all of you by coming on and giving you my time. The most precious thing I have is my time. I'm not getting any younger. Every day you see me, I'm a little bit older. In fact, in December, I'll be 40. But I do take care of myself, so most of you will see me for a very, very long time. Some of you that are older and are getting towards your last parts of your life, I'm going to make it a very easy transition for your grandkids and your kids, because you're going to leave them more than you ever thought possible. So right now, the big bottom line here is XRP looks to me to have formed a broadening wedge on this breakdown. It got rejected here firmly. It looks like the second hit of resistance on the wedge, but it's also a very important spot after the breakdown of that bull flag. That's overextended out. If you broke that out to the longer term bull flag, the farthest it could possibly be stretched out, it broke down from there in the 4-hourly, and now we resisted on it. That's why I overextended this area. I overextended it for a reason, so you can see the resistance where it'd have to pass. To me, it formed a broadening wedge. You could go up a little bit higher, and I acknowledge that. It's just I'm using this area for a reason for the next push up. But I acknowledge, if you're looking in the 4-hour time frame, you absolutely could use this wick, and you could start it like that. I acknowledge. It's not because I think you're wrong. In fact, I'll keep it there just to make everybody happy if you want, but I'm doing it for a different reason. I like to look for symmetry. So in the 4-hour time frame, I found this wick and the top of this candle, and I used that as the start of the broadening wedge for the higher highs and the lower lows to start in the same exact spot. To me, that gives me a very, very good area to go back to and reference and be like, oh, well, this is why we're having this volatility, because in fact, that 4-hour candle showed us the volatility range. Now, if you get higher highs and lower lows in the process, we know we're forming a broadening wedge. That means the highs continually get higher, but as we come down for support, we're trying to gain that liquidity to push out volatilely. This is the way you're going to have to do it if you want a big breakout with XRP. I hate to break it to everybody, but we need liquidity. Oh, I remember that when I was in Texas with Julie last year. Our first vacation, real vacation since her accident. And it was like 5 days or 4 days. And when I got back home, the first hit of cannabis I took, I was like, oh my God, I need to stop, relaxing for a few days every now and then. Oh, it absolutely is ATK. It absolutely is. So the issue we have here, and we'll continue to talk about it unless somehow we can miraculously get the bulls' help. We know that. Why do I keep deleting that? Let me just keep this drawing up there one time so I can reference it. I keep deleting it every single time. I've done it like 4 times in this live. So that's our problem. We're in this like, that doesn't even look good. Yeah, good enough. Something like that. We're in a bear flag. So if this bear flag plays out, even if we pop up, we're likely coming back into this area for that broadening wedge. So besides that little bear flag that appears very apparent, which all I do is I look for, if you're not used to what it is, all you're really looking for, and that's a terrible drawing, as this should be lined up right here, and then you do it, but that's just for representative. So it's basically like a backwards golf club. So if you're going to golf, if it looks backwards, that's not a good sign. So you need to break out of this, reverse the short-term bearish bias, as you already have a dot cross confirming in a 4-hour time frame that you're trying to come back down to the weekly liquidity support. I'm telling you, in the weekly, we need that support if we're going to bounce up way higher. Otherwise, if we fail to hit the liquidity zone and hold that this is last gas, I think we're going to lose the supply zone or the demand zone. I think 63 to 61 cents is firmly where you would have a supply zone. That would be a stack of buyers or a demand zone where people are demanding to buy it and they won't buy it any lower, or they won't buy it any higher from that spot. They demanded it to come back down in here. Now, if there's not enough people demanding and the real buyers are stacked down here on the wedge, the broadening wedge support, or even worse, on the double bottom or the double top breakout where people are like, it's never going to break out from there, you could come back down there. But it's in our best interest not to lose the 585, because if you come down to the 55 cents and you break back into the formation, what's stopping you from just running back through the formation and coming all the way back down to the uptrend at 48 cents? You lose 48 cents, you get on a slippery slope. Then you go back to the 2020 uptrend that we just talked about on the second golden cross. So that's where we stand, folks. What do you think? That's what I got for you. What do we think? Make sure you hit that like button if you appreciate this live. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you appreciate my work. If you want to join Tom's Army, by all means, please join Tom's Army. It's a lot more spacious than you might think. It's a lot less lonely when more of you join. If you want to send a YouTube super chat, you can also do that, as it keeps the lights on around here. But it doesn't keep the program running, if that makes sense. That's FEMX in the video description below, as that's the only exchange with XRP that stayed up working during the 94% rise for USA users. I keep my stuff on Uphold, but I keep an allotment. I used to do it on BitGet and MEXC, but since they don't allow new users, I don't promote it, that I use it as an exchange. I still advise you to use it because it's a great exchange internationally if you're already on them. But I can't promote it to an audience in the USA if they're not going to allow new users. So I found one that was just as good, maybe even better, with FEMX, and it works. I'm not affiliated. That's why you have to register. There's no special link. But it allowed us to be able to make trades if we wanted to on XRP when Uphold went down. So I like to have on-off ramps where they will stay active even during high times of volatility. And until that changes, that's what we have. I mean, XRP, you can even look at this. If you're looking at this in the smaller time frame, look what we kind of formed here. It's exactly what we were talking about. Look at this. This is our problem right now. This is exactly what I was trying to draw, which I did a terrible job like 3 separate times. But this is what we need to pay attention to with this formation. This is a problem. The fact that this formed and we can't break out of it. If it breaks down, we know our drop is the bottom of the wedge, the bottom of the broadening wedge. Sure, 6133 hypothetically could hold, or around the 597, but what assurance do we have? Not much. Could it hold there? I suppose. But in no time frame are we showing strength. In fact, whoops, son of a bitch. We're starting to get a little weaker here as we go along. Yes, there's not a lot of sell pressure, but in cases like this, what do I always say? If we're looking for further liquidity, they simply just turn off the buyer, or they turn off the selling for a minute to trap every single buyer that's in the area. The longer it consolidates here, the more of a, more uncertainty there is with an emotional trader. They're going to say, oh my God, it only comes down here so many times, not realizing that we're hitting the support a lot more than the resistance. Yes, it's true. The more times you hit it, it'll break through even on the resistance. But right now we're tapping the support a lot more than resistance, which leads me to believe there may be more sellers here than we're led on to believe. But the buyers, because it's a computer game, I like to say, because they're using trading software, most of the big business and institutions and the manipulators, I think they're trying to get it back down here possibly. And would it surprise you if they bring it a little low? It needs to drop farther for liquidity. But yes, ATK, it is coiling up big time. Surtur, have a good one. Jan, thank you so much for the compliment, love. I appreciate it. I appreciate that, ATK. I believe Tom's Army is badass too, but what makes us the most badass is we're not filled on hopium. We only care about the facts. I don't care about the hopium because hopium doesn't make me money. Hopium puts me in a bad spot. Been there, done that for many years. You guys only get a fine-tuned product because I lost my ass a lot of times trying to learn the trading game years and years and years ago. But the benefit of it is once you figure it out, you have to go through trial and error. If you don't go through trial and error, if you haven't lost something, you never know what you can gain. If you've never gained something, you never know there's anything to lose. That's the beauty of it. If there's no evil in the world, you don't know the good. That's how it is. Without the liquidity, you can't get the pump. Without the pump, you can't get the dump. To get the liquidity. Because you need the buyers to buy in up here. We needed these buyers to cause the downward momentum as they freak out on the way back down. And they start selling it. They gain the liquidity here to bring it down into this area for the big buyers. And we'll see if they're stacked up. If not, we come back down here for the ultimate buyers. And if the ultimate buyers aren't there, now we got a problem. But not for us, because we know where our buy-in's at, and 20% below that is where we'd continue adding on. That's all I got. Now we're going to relax. We're going to relax. We're going to relax. And we're just going to talk. So no reason to have the charts. Hello, everybody. You can watch backwards Bloomberg with me here. We can watch backwards Bloomberg. The charts are backwards. As you know, because I'm on my computer. And you're coming through my front lens. Because I can't use my other lens and still show. Well, I guess I could. But it doesn't show you my chart and everything. So, anything else? You guys get an up close and personal look. Hey, at least the goatee's not looking bad today. How's the hair looking? I was outside. It was raining. That's why I took off put my hat on. Ooh, you can see my hair's changing colors. Look at that. Right in front of our very eyes. See that? I let my 9-year-old pick what colors I dye my hair. I have dark black hair. But, there's some grays in there. And she likes to go from color to color to color. I do have to stand in front of a mirror, but I'm not doing that. We're not here to see Bloomberg anyhow. Shalom, back to the raw. Or back to, what did that say? Oh, this didn't even update my phone forever. Back to the, I thought that's what it said. True, got way more hair. Well, I got a proposition for everybody. I talked to Julie, and she said it was okay. See this? I told her, Julie, I think I'm going to make a pact with my audience. What if I didn't cut my hair until XRP broke all-time highs? How cool would that be? Just to make a point, if I didn't shave my hair or cut my hair until XRP hits all-time highs. I cut it for the first time in the summer. Really cut it. What was it, a couple weeks ago? So what if I didn't cut my hair until XRP hit all-time highs? I think that'd be freaking awesome. Yes, everybody always says wearing a hat makes you bald. But the reason I wear a hat, truth be told, most of the time, I have keratoconus in my left eye. See that? See that gray spot over my eye? Over my left eye, I have keratoconus. So I'm very sensitive to light when I go outside. So you always see me like this outside. If I don't have a hat on, I'm always... But that's why. Keratoconus. I know. Yes. Russell, I won't grow mine until... I think it's a funny idea too, Jay. I would look like David Schwartz, but I wouldn't have as big of a bald spot. But who knows? Maybe by the time XRP hits all-time highs, you never know. But I had my hair back in 2017 down to my shoulders, so it's not like I haven't done it. But, you know, I had to shave it, or I had to cut it. I went to California, and I looked like a true hippie. It was awesome. I had my goatee down to, like, down here. True. You're in optometry. I fully understand. Oh, awesome, True. So you understand the struggle. Well, truth be told, if I wasn't using like hair dyes and stuff, 65% of my hair would be gray right now. So I could say this is how I looked before I started trading XRP, and this is how I look after, and just don't dye my hair for 6 months. And people would be like, oh my God, XRP really made you go gray. Like, I know it sucks. At least I still have my hair. But I always say God doesn't take too much away from you. So he took one of my eyes so that when I close my, like, I can't even see my screen. So it's all a blur. I can't see the comments. I know it's here, but I can't see what anybody's saying. I can't see what's in front of me. I turn my right eye or my left eye, open my right eye, and it's like the clearest vision. It's like going from standard definition to not even HD. It's like going from, you know, the pixelated screen that you would get back in the day when you had a TV channel that you weren't allowed to watch, but it was scrambled so you could kind of see through it. This is showing your age a little bit if you remember this. You'd have to be at least in your close to 40 now, mid-30s. But that's what it feels like. I go from that kind of a view to just the clearest HD. When I open my right eye, it's insanity. So I get to see the world from both perspectives, you know, and I'm grateful for that. I wouldn't change it. Oh, that's a good question for True. In 2 years' time, I hope you don't look like Forrest Gump after his great run. I just might. You know, it would make it even funnier if I didn't cut my goatee. But I'll probably cut the goatee. But I'm telling you, I'm thinking about it. If you start seeing my hair get longer, you're going to know that something's going on. Keep an eye out for our mobile clinics, Vision to Learn. We just opened in Michigan last November. Oh, no kidding, True. In 17 different states, I'll definitely keep an eye out. I can only keep an eye out, as it turns out, because I don't have 2 eyes. I have 2 eyes, but one is on vacation since I was born. So I'm still waiting for it to kick in. I know eventually it will. It might be when I meet our Lord and Savior. It's like the constant vacation on half the side of my face. But, so anyhow, that's where we're at right now. See, I can be serious and silly at the same time. But, yep, ATK in California, yep. Yes, bullish hair. My hair is bullish. I like that. What happened? Oh, yeah. So, yes, bullish hair. So, the outlook on the hair is bullish. This hair dye, not so bullish, because look, how is it possible that my roots are already coming back through? Now, I use, for transparency purposes, I only use ammonia-free hair dyes because I'm a health nut, and I don't use it with any of the bull crap, so it only lasts like 4 weeks at a time compared to a normal one where you could probably get 3 months out of it. So, that's the truth. So, that's it, everybody. I'm done. That's the update. And I'll see you shortly. Stay blessed, and remember, positivity over